Okay, so it's telling me please break the red dot before using. What the heck does that even mean? So the customer was telling me that there was a little red nipple sticking out of here and he pushed it down inside. I think this is the vent for the gearbox. This is a Vevor Tough Tools, half price. Model Z XZ-12A XZ-22A. And we continue to be committed to provide tools with competitive prices, save half price, or any other similar expressions used by us only represents an estimate of savings. Estimate is very tiny right there. You might benefit from buying certain tools with us compared to the major top brands, and does blah 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 blah. Pause it and read it if you need to. So anyhow, here are some instructions on this. I looked through here briefly. I didn't see anything about break the red dot. Precautions, blah, blah, blah. Talks about different models, different voltages, the watts, continuous working time. Still looking, didn't see anything on the red dot. Make sure you unplug it. Yeah, duh. And then cleaning and maintenance. That is it. Vevor, Tough Tools, half price. All right, well, let's see what this thing does. The customer says he plugged it in. He was getting ready. He just went hunting, and he got a deer. He was going to grind it, make hamburger out of it, and he went to start this thing, and I guess it ran for a moment, and then it stopped. I'm not quite sure. Let's get this thing into view here. Let's zoom out a little bit, and there it is. There's the grinder up front, and then break the red seal, which I assume they're talking about that vent for the gearbox. If I had to guess, please check the oil level regularly and add in time to prevent damage. I didn't see anything about adding oil. And then it's got a forward and a momentary reverse if it were to get jammed up. Anyhow, okay, let's plug this thing in, and I'll get a clamp meter on it, and we'll see if it draws any current. One moment. Okay, got the unit set up here. It is currently powered on, as you can see with the red glow right there. I've got my vintage clamp-on Radio Shack amp meter on here, and the meter is unlocked. If you move this, it does lock the pointer. So it is currently unlocked. I'm just going to move this to the forward mode and see if anything happens here. No current draw. Reverse. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Not a bump, not a anything whatsoever. I wonder if I could find something to plug into this just to verify that the amp meter is actually working. I have a little portable heater here. I'm using the original Radio Shack 1 times 10 times multiplier here. I get nothing. What? Oh, duh. I'm holding the heater in my hand. It has a tip over protection. I have to hold that up. And yes, it does work. There's a little heater on low and high. Low, fan only, and off. Okay, so the amp meter is working. We have verified our test equipment integrity is good. Well, let's try to rip into this thing and see what's inside. One moment. So just in case that this is actually an oil vent, I've got a little piece of the Christie's 10 mil pipe wrap here, and I'm just going to put a piece of tape over the top of that to try to mitigate any kind of a possible spill. Hopefully it does adhere and stick down, because I'm going to have to flip this thing over onto its side to gain any kind of access. So let me flip it over, get the bottom off, because it doesn't look like the top comes off easily, but it might. Who knows? One moment. Well, shoot. Try to clean off some of the sticky on here. Looks like they had the protective film attached on this thing. Well, it's going to be as good as it gets. So, looking up inside this thing, let me try to tip it over so you can see up in here momentarily. There is a motor, and there are 2 capacitors in here as well. And I don't see any issues. Loose terminal on that. That's on the circuit breaker. We should go ahead and test that and see if the circuit breaker tests okay. Let me see if I can figure out some kind of a way to prop this thing up. Otherwise, it's going to have to sit diagonal. I guess you might be able to see that from there. Let me get a ohm meter out here. Place it there, and we'll put that in ohms. We'll verify lead integrity first, 0.01. And I'm just going to check on the terminals of the circuit breaker. And, whoa. It is open. Circuit breaker is absolutely open. Huh. Well, that's not a good sign. Can we get it out easily? Yes, it does come out quite easily. Let me flip this over so we don't get any kind of leakage out of the gearbox. And so there's one lead, and there is, well, now it's good. It was not good in the circuit. Interesting. Is it just, that lead is loose. It tests good right now. Can I get it to trip? Sometimes by smacking it, you'll make it trip. Now it tests perfectly fine. Out of circuit. Interesting. Well, I guess I'll plug it back in, and we'll try to power it up and see if it does anything different. I mean, it is the definition of insanity. Pretty big size motor in here. Circuit breaker is rated at 8 amps. This terminal does not look like I would like it to look. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the whole thing is very copperish. And on the terminal from the power cord, it is not. Very nickel plated. I don't think that's the problem though. Let's just go ahead and plug this thing back in. That is really loose. Let me try to find a little set of pliers. That'll work. And we'll just try to close this down just a little bit. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. Put the breaker back through the back, through the back. And try to get the nut to thread on there. Maybe. There we go. Okay, terminals are on there relatively good. Let's turn it back around. And we'll get the test apparatus set up once again, although I think you're going to know if it works or not, because it's going to probably go make some kind of a weird sound. What do I do with the other end of the tester? There we go. Still have the original ×1 and ×10 tester here. We're in the off position right there. So we're set up for 6 amps. I wonder if I should go to 15 to be safe. I do not have this plugged into the Variac. I think I will go to 15 and try to move it so you can see what's going on here. And it is working. And we are pulling just under 6 amps. So 5.5 amps basically. Reverse. Same thing in reverse. Yeah, 5.5 amps. I'm going to recommend that we just simply change that breaker, because I did an ohmmeter check on it and it checked open. I took it out of the circuit and it checks good now. I don't trust that thing any farther than I can throw it. So I'm going to see if I can get a replacement breaker for this thing, and we will move forward from there. So hopefully this is part 1 of 2 on the Vevor. Did I even see a model number on the unit or just on the manual itself? No, there is actually a model on the unit. And so this one is the XZ-12 rating, 110 volts, 60 hertz, 650 watts. Remember, do not immerse in water. Okay, well, I think we have a direction to go at least. So hopefully there will be part 2, which will be about 8 seconds long, just plugging the new breaker into place. All right, thanks for watching. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the troubleshooting video on the Vevor Tough Tools half price. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.